Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So are you tired of manually creating and sending of invoices? In the next 10 minutes I will show you how to automatically generate PDF invoices and email them to your clients, all with zero manual effort, all built with Django and powered by Django tenants. So first of all, let's have a quick demo of what we are going to build today. So over here inside my super admin for the application, I have my tenants model, so I can come and say add tenant. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the tenants details. Then we can go ahead and save to onboard the client email, so you can see that the new client has been onboarded. Let's go ahead and check our email and see if we do have an invoice. Of course, we do have a welcoming email that is for the new client. Then we also have a PDF invoice that has been emailed to our client. So that's the welcoming email, and if you check the PDF, we get the name of the client, the address, and also the invoice ID, the billing period, and also the next billing, and we also get the name of the plan, the price, the VAT for taxing, and also the total. So that is it for our invoice creation, PDF generation, and also sending of the email. So let's dive into the code and see how we can implement this one using Django and Django tenants. So over here, this is my Visual Studio code set up. The project is ready. Then we do have a few apps over here. The first one is accounts. We also have billing, that is going to be our main focus for today, as well as tenants for handling of the tenants. So let's go ahead to our billing application and see some of the models that we do have over here. So we do have the subscription, a plan which just has the 3 plans that I just showed you. We also have the tenant subscription. This is what will handle our subscription whenever a user has been created. And then the main focus for today is going to be on the creation of the invoices as well as emailing of the invoice itself. So the invoice basically has the tenant of the client itself, its subscription, the invoice number, which is going to be done automatically using the save method. We are overwriting the save method at the bottom, the issue date, the due date is paid, and also the payment method. Right now we're just going to accept M-Pesa payments, but later we'll also add card payments for this one. Then finally we have the payment itself. This is where now we are going to handle M-Pesa payment using C2B API. So right now we're just going to handle the creation of the invoice, PDF generation, and emailing. So this is our billing model, and then inside our tenants application, I do have the Django signals here that will handle the signal creation of the invoice as well as the PDF. So, and for example, in our setup here, we do have the first one is creating of the domain. So we automatically create a domain name for the tenant. That's the first thing that you're doing. Then the next one is creating of the admin. So every tenant has to be associated with an admin that can access it. So we are creating that automatically and sending the welcoming emails. The third thing that we did is to send the admin credentials to the email. So once we've created the admin, we email them and SMS them the credentials. So that is the send admin credentials. Then we also create a trial subscription. That one we already covered. And then today we want to focus on how to send an invoice, and that is the creating of the billing invoice as well as emailing the billing invoice. So that is what we're going to do, or creating of the invoice, generating the PDF, and also emailing the PDF. So that is it for our invoice generation and emailing. So this is just the main signal. It's pretty big, so I've divided them into signal handlers, where we do have all the handlers that will handle the respective function. For example, we had one here for sending the credentials via email. So today we want to focus on the first one, that is creating a billing invoice. So whenever we onboard a new client, we automatically give them a free trial plan. So we need to create that plan using a signal. So inside my signal handlers, let's check on the create email. Let's look at the create billing invoice. So just here we are importing. Now that is for emailing. It should be create billing invoice. Yeah, the first one. So the first thing that you need to do is that you need to import the invoice as well as the tenant subscription. So it's just a small function that is for creating the billing invoice. We are just retrieving our subscription using the subscription plan. We want to check which type of subscription the client is in. So we just query this one using the tenant dot first. Then here is where we do the actual creation of the invoice. So we just use the tenant that we've just been passed here as the parameter. So the tenant is got to tenant. The subscription, once again the subscription has been retrieved using that query. The amount due, the due date, the status, we just want to leave it as pending until the payments have been done. That's when the status will change. We'll be able to do that using some background tasks such as Celery and Redis to check if the payments have been done, and then the status will be able to update automatically. The payment reference, we're just going to leave it none for now. It will be generated automatically. So the payment reference can be like the account number for the payment, then the payment date, and also is paid. So that is how we handle the creation of the invoice. And then remember that we return invoice over here. Make sure you do that because it will be used when we are sending the invoice itself and also generating the PDF. Now that's the first signal. Now let's look at the second one, that is going to handle the creation of the PDF. So generate invoice PDF. Add some invoice itself. So now let's generate our invoice. We have the first name for our client, the last name, the account, the address. These ones we can get them from the tenant. The invoice date, the due date, as well as the amount due. So yeah, the subscription also is that one. We're getting it from the invoice, the start date, end date, and the next billing. So just to do some sanity check to print if everything is coming through, then now lastly we are rendering them into our HTML template. So inside my templates directory, I do have a folder called invoices, and it has an HTML file called invoice.html. So the reason why we did this is because I wanted to do some external styling, some images to also attach to my invoice, let's say like a logo for your company. That's why we are using invoice.html, and that's made possible by the use of WeasyPrint. So the invoice is going to have the client name, the email, and all the way to the next billing date. So let's go ahead inside our HTML templates directory. So if I go back to my templates inside my invoice.html, it's a file. It's just a normal HTML file but with some styling. So remember to add this base URL because that is how the static files are going to be served. If you fail to add the base URL here, it's not going to go through. So the base URL, as well as you need to load the static files, so such as the CSS, you need to load your logo for the images, as well as the JavaScript files at the very bottom. So that is it for the signal generate invoice PDF handler. Now the last one is going to be now emailing it. We've seen how we can create the invoice, how we can generate the PDF, and now lastly we need to see how to send the email. So the last handler here should be email invoice PDF. Again, it's a simple one. We just import the email multi alternatives. You can import the email message, but this is like a more advanced one for sending of emails. We import the settings, and then the subject is going to be billing invoice. You can customize it wherever you want. We last sending the email using the email multi alternatives. You could use the email message, the subject, body, the email from, as well as the organization email. This is going to be from the tenant. Set the content type is the HTML, then you add this one as your path. So you need to add the PDF to path. If you are to remember, we did have a PDF to path over here inside our email billing invoice PDF. The PDF to path has been passed. So this is where the invoice is being generated, and that is how the email billing invoice will be able to know the path where to collect the generated invoice. So remember to add this one over here. So pass it to your function, then we'll be able to use the path where the invoice has been generated. So let's go ahead and test our application once again to see how it works. So I'm just going to say our tenant, then I'm going to fill in the client details. So successfully onboarded our second client. You can see it's Uwezo Circle Limited. If you were to check our invoices, of course we do have an invoice that is for trial, then the amount, the due date, as well as the is paid. We also have the subscription that has been created. If you were to check the subscription, we have the Uwezo Circle with the trial, the monthly package, as well as the start date and the end date. So that is it for the invoices. Then if you were to go to our email, we get our welcoming emails. Hello Brian, we're excited to onboard you. That's the login URL. We also have our password here there they can use and update later, and we also have our invoice. If you were to open it, we do have the invoice with the Brian or Uwezo Circle Limited is the name of the billing where we are billing it to, a unique invoice number, as well as the period from February 26th to June 26th. The trial, the description is trial, VAT is none for now because it's just a trial which is free. Then we also have the total. Yeah, so that is it for the sending, creation and emailing of our invoices. So and that's how FlexiCash handles automated invoice creation and email delivery, saving you time and reducing errors. So if this video provided some value to you or maybe helped something sink in, please consider to subscribe, like the video, and also drop a comment if you have any question. So see you in the next one.